Good afternoon and welcome to BJC Mitzvah Day number 206, part 4. Used in the Sefer HaChinuch, a mitzvah that keeps us on its way. And we're continuing with the ervah of one's wife's sister. Here we go. Similarly, in order to further safeguard this prohibition of one's wife's sister, the sages in Yevamos also prohibited to a Yavam the sister of his chalutza, a woman with whom he performed chalitza. That is, even after his surviving brother has performed chalitza with his brother's widow, and she is no longer his zakuka, she's no longer bound to him, the sage is still prohibited from marrying her sister. For just as Scripture prohibited the sister of one's divorced wife, as we explained above, so did the sages prohibit the sister of one's chalutza. For chalutza resembles divorce, and the sister of one's chalutza therefore resembles the sister of one's divorced wife. The Chinuch reiterates that these prohibitions are rabbinic, despite the similarity that the Zika bond shares with the marital bond. Nevertheless, regarding the prohibitions of the sister of one's chalutza, and even that of the sister of one's zakuka, we maintain, according to accepted halacha, that they are rabbinic prohibitions, not biblical ones. For the Torah prohibited only the sister of one's actual wife that he married with Nisuin or with a Rusin Kedushin. But as far as a woman who is bound to him, i.e. his zakuka, is concerned, despite the fact that she was bestowed upon him by heaven with the Zika bond, her sister is not included in the biblical prohibition of one's wife's sister. Rather, it was the sages of blessed memory who prohibited her to ensure that one not encounter the actual biblical prohibition of one's wife's sister. Okay, should we do more? A little more. The Chinuch mentions a leniency that applies to the prohibition of one's zakuka sister because it is only rabbinic. Now, since this prohibition against marrying the sister of a zakuka is of rabbinic origin, as we have stated, the sages were at times somewhat lenient regarding this matter. Consequently, the sages of blessed memory state in Yevamos that if one of the Yevamim performs Kedushin with the sister of his Yevama, i.e. his zakuka, who is rabbinically prohibited to him, we tell him, wait, you need not immediately divorce the sister of your Yevama, whom you married, even though she's prohibited to you, but you may also not perform the suin with her and consummate the marriage, until your brother, who is also Yavam, performs either Yibum or Chalitza with this Yevama, who is bound to all of you, serving brothers, to all of you surviving brothers, right? Now, if his brother ultimately performs chalitza with the Yevama, or his brother marries her through Yibum, or if the Yevama dies, then this one may bring his Erusin wife into his home, i.e. he may perform the suin with her, the second stage of marriage, and thus complete the process of marriage that he had begun earlier with Kedushin. But if all the other brothers of the deceased died before any of them performed Yibum or chalitza, or if there were no other brothers, such that the Yevama remains bound only to the one who had performed the Erusin with her sister, then this brother must release his Erusin wife with a get, bill of divorce, and he must also release his Yevama through the process of Chalitza, meaning he can't marry either of them. All right, thank you for listening. Well, he could do the Yibum with the one of the wives, right? But he definitely can't marry the original wife that he wanted to. All right, thank you for listening to Sponsor Future Mitzvah 36 100 for the gold. We still got a little while to go there. Have a great day.